Thank you so much, Kate, for that really helpful overview of where the possibilities are and how we might align. It'll turn to Allison, Tummon, Kamphuis from Procter & Gamble, who will talk a little bit not only about experiences directly in clean water access, but also thinking about and bringing to, excuse me, the company, and reflecting on how the company is embracing the SDGs across and throughout. So, Allison.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here this morning from Cincinnati, Ohio, from Procter & Gamble. We've been pleased to be a member of this forum since it began and to see the evolution of the workshops, and now that we have the SDGs in place after they were launched last September, to talk a little bit about our journey as a company and the strategies that we have in place currently, but also where we're looking towards the future. For Procter & Gamble, we are a company of brands. You may know us for many of these, which I hope are in your homes and that you use on a regular basis. P&G as a branded house is a little more recent. But we are on a journey that's pretty long. The company was founded nearly 180 years ago, and this is Mr. Gamble and Mr. Procter, and they actually started in the world of wash. One made candles, the other made soap. And so as the leader of our Children's Safe Drinking Water program, which is an important part of our corporate efforts globally, the fact that it all began with soap is a bit ironic for me. But when they began, it was a very local business in Cincinnati, but one thing that hasn't changed over the time for us is our purpose and our values as a company. And something that was done several years ago was to add in the first paragraph, which you can see here, now and for generations to come. That was really the company's deliberate effort. The purpose and values of P&G is the one thing that nobody ever intends to change. And so to actually change it, it takes quite a bit of deliberation. And so to really embed sustainability and the future growth and service of the company into our purpose, values, and principles was a major step that was taken a number of years ago. And I think the end of the second paragraph about, it's not just about creating value for the business enterprise, but it's really about the people who work there, our shareholders, which I would call our partners, and then the communities we live and work in, and having everyone share in that prosperity. So this has been embedded for a long time in who we are as a company. It's grown, though, from soap and candles in Cincinnati, Ohio, to actually being an incredibly diverse organization. And it's really based on people and all around the world. The diversity we have across our workforce, we operate in 70 countries, our brands are in 180. We have research and development centers around the world, and we have a very strong representation of women. All of this is about, I think, if you think in terms of the SDGs and how interrelated they are, so is a multinational enterprise like our company today. And so really it's about many of the same things you'll find in the goals. For us, it's about governance, ethical responsibility and behavior, being transparent, supporting causes that are, improving the health of all, particularly in health, and then protecting the environment. And it's a place where people want to work and, be all they can be with their opportunities. So we have a citizenship model that's based on our PVPs and our foundation. It's, centuries in the making, almost 200 years in the making, but it's really defined now in these key areas around the impact we can have in communities, and this is where health is a key part of what we do, diversity and inclusion within the company, and our impact we can have reaching 5 billion consumers around the world every day. Gender equality has been elevated, and I think this is a direct link and strategy to the SDGs as they've now been launched, and then certainly a foundation in environmental sustainability. So I think we'll see this in every presentation today. Coming from Procter & Gamble, I have to commend the folks at the UN who really focused on some excellent branding. These icons really do take all the indicators and all the measurement and make it something that, many people who don't immerse themselves in this sector, in this space every day, can really identify with. And the interrelatedness of them has been mentioned from the very beginning today. I think, if we look at some of the programs, I'll just go back for a moment. P&G's efforts we have some that are corporately led, And then we also have many which are led by our brands. And it's our brands who reach consumers every day. And so they have a unique opportunity. Some of our brands are quite iconic. People have a very strong relationship with them. And the efforts that started, in many cases 10 years or more ago, well before this current set of goals was established, many of those programs aren't going to change. We may identify and align them to a new goal and a new icon, but certainly they were built on a lot of the same principles that led to the long deliberation and what's been delivered last September through the consultative process. It's really, partnerships is key. It's funny that goal is number 17 at the end, because I think it's essential for all of the others to be achieved. But, we're looking now in our strategy to determine where can we build on what we've been doing for decades, but also how can we uniquely add value. Every organization has their own core competencies, their own way, the way that was described in Kate's presentation, their own potentially industries, some cross the different buckets or the groups, but we're really looking to see, what and how can we incrementally add value to the efforts that are underway. So our products, as you saw earlier, many of which are part of everyday life, and they operate in health, both determinants of health and actual, prevention of disease in some cases, and then also it's things that are a bit less clinically or medically focused, things that help build confidence or eliminate barriers to education, for example, with some of the work that we're focused on in gender equality. And really, a lot of our consumers are women. Many of our products are designed for women. And so for us, there's an opportunity to address social norms and other economic opportunities for women. Just to give you an example of a few of the programs, and this was my exercise in PowerPoint in using the icons. The program I lead, actually, at P&G, the Children's Safe Drinking Water Program, just reached a milestone last month of providing 10 billion liters of clean drinking water, along with sanitation and hygiene education, entirely driven through a public-private partnership. Many years ago, we developed a pretty innovative technology, the little sachet that you see in this photo, that can clean water essentially anywhere in the world. And while it may not be a big long-term infrastructure solution, it's something today that can be the bridge to those sustained, permanent solutions. And we tried to market it. It was a commercial product at Procter & Gamble in 3 years with a well-developed team working on it. We provided about 3 million little packets, launched in Pakistan in the early 2000s. And behavior change is hard. I think everyone in the room would agree about that. And we are all working at it, and certainly our marketing techniques were not achieving what we thought would be obvious with this being such a basic need for, at that time, almost 2 billion people around the world. The program ceased to be a commercial venture, and it actually evolved into a public-private partnership working with many groups in this room, both in emergency situations and then also in integrating clean water into other development efforts. And so now, 1 billion packets later, it shows that working together across sectors with different organizations who are truly experts in the areas where you may not be is a lesson to learn. And so we look to build on this example with other programs that can do the same thing, bringing private sector innovation with groups who can bring it to either those in need or markets, or even work with governments to see that together we can provide solutions to some of these global challenges. A couple other long-standing, more than a decade efforts. Pampers UNICEF is the cause marketing side of an effort that many others in the room, I'm looking at Gary from Becton Dickinson, from BD and others got involved in, well over a decade ago, looking to eliminate, maternal and neonatal tetanus, which is still killing, tens of thousands of babies every day, and it needlessly does. So this is one effort where it has grown from cause marketing into also Pampers' efforts to bring free health and wellness checks through Pampers mobile clinics. A lot of our brand efforts may be something to reach consumers to raise awareness of our brand, but they have broader health impact in communities. And working in partnership with governments is how these things have scaled beyond just small company-led efforts. Another one is always keeping girls in school. The efforts for puberty and hygiene education have gone on for more than 30 years and reach 20 million girls every year. This program actually focuses on building confidence now. We've grown with our Like a Girl campaign, which many of you may have seen over the last couple of years, to really address some of the societal norms. And these programs, while they may appear to be sort of brand marketing campaigns, in many cases, they actually start conversations that evolve into multi-sectoral efforts to make a difference. So this is one that's fairly well known. We have others, in different parts of the world. Ariel, one of our laundry brands, has a Share the Load campaign looking at gender norms in India. SK2, one of the leading prestige skincare brands in China, has just had a pretty significant campaign about changing destiny and looking at women's roles in society. We also have a very developed program on the environmental goals. Since this is focused on health, I'll just only mention that we have a long-term vision and, again, addresses many goals, that we also have a shorter-term set of goals for 2020, which we look to achieve. But I think, in general, the determinants of health that come from our focus as a company with the footprint we have on both the environmental side and what we're doing socially together are the way that we're looking to address it. And so going forward, there's always an opportunity, I think, for us to work with new partners, both at global scale and on a local level. And just like the UN is a very complex organization, you have your global focus and efforts corporately. There's also on the ground at the country level, and that's where we have a lot of creativity and innovation, and working with many of you in the room and some of your local colleagues to help address these goals, which for all of us who would like to see the world, not just in 2030, but 180 years from now, be a place where we'd all be proud to say we were part of the beginning of these goals coming to be achieved. So thank you very much.